pile. Yes, when I asked you to pick them up, that's why. It's easier this way than doing it this way.
Wait a second, hang on.
What?
I already have it. May or may not.
Matthew, you're making my life hard and I don't like it. Alright, here we go. Everyone should have this sheet of paper out. Alright, everyone should have a piece of notebook paper as well. We are going to move real quick. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about statistics, and today we're doing standard deviation. Standard deviation is way harder than statistics. The statistics I'm teaching you today is something you probably learned in 4th grade. So exciting. So exciting. Alright. With that being said, these are all my cheat sheets. Don't judge. This stresses me out more than it should. Alright, here we go. So first thing I'm going to teach you on a piece of notebook paper, we are going to do statistics. Alright, so these are called differential statistics. Do not feel overwhelmed. Once I show you what exactly we're talking about, you're going to be like, oh my god, this is so stupid. But yes, I will teach it to you. So you're going to write down these numbers. 6, 4, 3, 7, 10, 12, 1, 6, 6. Okay. You are going to find the mean, the median, and the mode. Yes. I hope you're overwhelmed. You are more than welcome to use your cell phone to do any of these skills. I want to see what you know, then we'll go over the answers in a second. Tomorrow, you will have a question where you have nice and pretty numbers, and you have to do basic math to find the mean, median, or mode.
I can't do it.
If you have a calculator, you're more than welcome to take that out as well. I said phone because I know all of you have phones. If you have a real calculator, it's easier on a real calculator. So I personally don't care. You have 30 seconds. Are you overwhelmed with the idea of doing math just like me?
Yeah, I also got hit in the head before coming here.
Oh my god, seriously?
A locker thing, yeah.
Oh man.
Dropped it on my head. It's just like, it's okay, and I walked away. A locker thing.
What the hell is a locker thing?
The locks.
Oh, the lock?
Dropped it on my head.
Oh my god. Alright, here we go.
No, it's numerical.
Here we go. Apparently we are... Alright. Who can tell me what is the mean? Who can raise your hand? John, what's the mean? 6.1. John, you mathematician, how did you figure it out?
You add them all together.
It's the average. Do you like how I'm teaching math right now? Like, this is about it. It's average. You add them all up, and then you divide it by what? The total. There you go. All right, what is my median? Karina? 6. How did you get it, my mathematician?
You arrange them in numerical order, and then you go off on the ends until you get them.
There you go. Put them in numerical order, and then start scratching them out. Okay, so you put them in numerical order, and you start scratching them out, and you come to 6 in the middle. See, I told you I have a cheat sheet for everything. And what is the mode? What is the mode, Jenny? 6. How did you figure it out?
Is it out of all the numbers? 6.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh my
say.
gosh. Oh my god, I literally made this up last year while I was doing it. It's fine. 6, 6, 6. Okay, so the mode 6. What does mode mean? The most common. So there's more 6s than anything else, so it's got to be the mode. The median is arrange in order. Arrange in order. All right, does anyone have any questions about how to do any of these differential statistics? Everyone's good on them? There's one question tomorrow on this. If you're like me and you're just terrified of math, like I said, I have cheat sheets for everything. You are more than welcome to bring a real calculator tomorrow to just do it. It's very simple. They're pretty numbers. It's not hard to do. But if you just get stressed with the idea of just doing straight up math, you're more than welcome to bring a real calculator, not your cell phone. I think you understand why you're not allowed to use your cell phone. Yes? So if you get stressed by it, please feel free to do that. All right, here we go. Take out this sheet of paper, please. All right, so at the very bottom, you're going to see what we call a bell curve. Now, a bell curve is used to show data in an organized manner, okay? So, every standardized test you've ever taken is on a bell curve. Every single year I go to an AP training, okay? And every single year the official people at AP try to convince all the teachers who teach statistics, who teach psychology and other AP courses, that their AP scores are not on a bell curve. They're liars. They just don't want you to know. So why don't they want you to know that they're on a bell curve? What this means is half the people, so if this is the halfway point, half the people are failing, half the people are passing. Yeah. Okay? So if this is the average, so right here, this is your average score. So if your average score is here, half the population is above the average score, half the population is below the score. Okay? So when we talk about standard deviation, and that's exactly what we're doing here, we are looking at things on a bell curve. The reason why we do standard deviation is so that we can easily look at numbers and see if you're above average or below average. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to be the best at something. You just have to be better than other people. Right? Like, if you're running away from a bear, do you have to be the fastest one in your group? Than the slowest person in your group. And that's what standard deviation does. It allows us to see very quickly who's above average and who's below average. So this is where the numbers start getting a little funky. So from here to here is 100% of the data. Would you agree? From the very bottom to the very top is 100%. This right here is 34% of your data is here. 34% of your data is here. This range is called one standard deviation. Okay? So 34% of all data is 1% standard deviation below the mean. 34% of all the data is 34% of the data is one standard deviation above the mean. So from here to here comes to a grand total of how much? 68% of all data equals one standard deviation above or below the mean. Okay? So, your average person, 68% of all people who take the AP exams are one standard deviation below the mean, one standard deviation above the mean. Does that make sense to you? Because we're going to make it complicated here in a minute. Okay? So, here is two standard deviations above the mean. 14% of the data is here. 14% of the data is here. Okay? This is two standard deviations below. This is two standard deviations above. Okay? Then we go to 3%. 3% is 3 standard deviations above over here. This is 3 standard deviations below. And then you have like 0.5%. This is 0.5%. Is 4 standard deviations above the mean and 4 standard deviations below the mean. Okay. Please listen. You will notice a majority of people are within 1 standard deviation above the mean, yes, or below. You will notice that as you go out from the average score, the percentages go down. So what means is, if this is, say, C on it, okay? This is like a C minus, this is a C plus, this is a B, this is an A, this is like an A plus plus, okay? Then you have a D, then you have a D minus, and then an F, okay? If you're just think about it, most people in a tough class will get in the range of a C, especially in college, correct? C plus or C minus. Then you have some people who will get a B, and then you have some people who get an A, very few. You'll have very few people who get a perfect score. It's very odd. Same thing with SAT. Very few people get, what's your perfect score now? Is it back to 1,600? Oh, thank God, that's a manageable number. Okay, very few people get a 1,600 on the SAT. Very few people will get higher than a 1,400. More people will get above a 1,200. The average score, at least in my day, for one standard deviation is about a 1,000 to 1,100 was one standard deviation above. Then 1,000 is the median to 900. You had most of the data there. Does everyone understand what we're looking at? Because I'm coming back to this. Any questions on just the basic formats? Everyone's okay? Perfect. All right, going back to your little sheet. Now I'm going to teach you how to find standard deviation. Isn't this exciting? I'm excited. All right, so we are going to play a fun little game, and it's called math. And I don't mean that at all. So what you're going to do is, here are your numbers. You're going to write them down with me. 160, 150, 139, 102, 102, 100, 100, 100, 98, 95. Okay? So this is your raw data. Then you're going to find your deviation from mean. Okay? So what you're going to do right now is, in order to find your deviation from the mean, what do you have to find? The mean. So on my raw data, please find the mean. So what do you have to do? Add it up and divide it by, correct? By the total amount. Please do that now. So find the find the mean, please. Who knew in AP Psych we're sitting here doing math? This is wild. Alright, anyone find it? What is it, Jenny? No.
127.3.
Holy crap. How do we have this much of variance? Karina? 114.6 is what I have. I don't know. What did you guys not do? Okay. It's not a trick. This is bad. Alright, here we go. So, we now found the mean, but now we have to find the deviation from the mean. So what do? Is you take 160 minus 114.6. 160 minus 114.6 is what? 45.4. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you're going to find the deviation from the mean all the way down. No. Oh, okay. What? I told you I was teaching math today.
So you want us to do that for all of them?
Yes.
Right now?
Yep. Because then we have to find the square deviation.
So 160 minus 114.6.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Okay.
Are you worse at math than I am? And I'm horrific.
No, I'm good at math. I just was recalculating and missed everything that you said.
So you're going to take, so 160 minus 114 gives you 45.4. So what you're doing is now 150 minus 114.6, and that's going to be 35.4. You're now going to just go through them and start doing that so you can find the deviation from mean. That's the difference from the raw score to the mean.
Math twice today. I haven't even gone to math class yet. This
Look
is
at you.
just sad.
What other class do you have math in?
Apes.
What?
AP environmental
Class is so
science.
freaking hard.
Yes.
Worse than mine?
Yes.
Yes.
We have to do long division.
Yes. Did you ever think you'd say those words, ladies and gentlemen? Yes.
It's terrible.
I thought yours was going to be so much harder, but I was wrong.
Yep. Just the workload. Now that you're in the groove, hopefully this week went by much easier. Would you agree?
Yeah. What round? It's Tuesday.
But you have a test tomorrow. I'm so proud. All right, here we go. So, 139, what's this deviation from mean? 24.4. What is the deviation from mean for 102?
Negative 12.6.
Negative 12.6, so it has to be the same for the next one. What's 100?
Negative 14.6.
14.6. Oh, my numbers are getting too close. 14.6. 14.6. What's 98? 16.6. 95? 19.6. Okay, does everyone understand what we've just done right there? Okay, so what we're now going to do is the square the deviation. This is where you really need the calculator. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 45.4 and square it, which gives you a new number of 2,061.16. I know. Are we having fun yet?
No.
I didn't think so.
We can have to do this test.
No, you won't have to do this on the test, but you had to do it on the AP exam 3 years ago.
So we're bringing. Did I give a calculator?
No, they didn't. They gave you prettier numbers than this.
Oh.
They gave you prettier numbers, but yeah, could you imagine? Every AP Psych teacher in the world literally had a complete meltdown because it was complete BS that they made you do this. So each one, so you're going to do 34.4, you're going to do the same thing again, and you're going to square it. And that's going to give you 1,253.16. And you're going to do it for the next one and the next one. You're just going to square each of them through. All right. Do you have a question, Mr. Coker?
Nope.
You're good? It's just redundant. Can we agree?
Yes.
I think it's 35.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I put 35.
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry. 35.4. Might be. I told you I hate numbers, okay? It stresses me out.
Shoot, now
And I had a super stressful day. My dog got attacked at the dog park this morning. Oh, my God.
Time to take
How
your dog.
early
Because I
do you
wake
take
up.
your dog to
Yeah,
the dog
one
park?
year.
Yeah. who
He's
else
at the
is
park
there?
at 5:15. We're at the dog park. And I'm
Oh, my.
sitting on a
When
bench.
do you sleep?
I don't. I teach AP World.
That's not normal.
Yeah, I got attacked at the dog park. It was the saddest thing. He was terrified. He was screaming.
Shouldn't you know as like an AP Psych teacher to get sleep?
Huh?
Do you know?
I said, shouldn't you know as like a Psych teacher to like get sleep?
Yeah, I know, but things don't get done. I don't know if you noticed. There's a lot of things that happen in this room. All that stuff doesn't get done unless, like, I'm prepared.
So.
So I don't sleep. I was responding to a kid on Twitter at like 11:40 last night.
So we'll like assume like a sub to come in soon.
No. Last year I missed a good amount of days, but I recorded videos, so it was fine. Because I had family events. Like I had a wedding, my mom's 60th birthday. All right. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna add all of them up. It's an important scale. It is an important scale. Apparently, your junior year, you take a class where you have to do standard deviation. No, I know. You're going to have to do it again in another class, and it's like a real big thing, and everyone uses my notes. Yeah.
This is worse than my actual math class.
I don't know what the hell class it is. It's math. It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know. Every year I have kids say, oh my God, Miss Bennett, thank you so much for teaching us standard deviation because my teacher didn't teach us standard deviation. It was on a test.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, Miss
Do you want us to get to add all the numbers on the right
Yep.
together?
Yep. You will not have to do this tomorrow, but it's important that you understand how it all comes together, ladies and gentlemen. Can we agree? Instead of me just explaining it, it's better that we go through it together and you can kind of see where everything kind of comes out.
We're adding it in dividing.
Not yet. What is your total? Are you a math person, Sam?
5527.2.
I got 5.367.
Oh my gosh, people. This is really concerning. You guys have this much variance.
Where do you be studying that?
Alright, here we go. The answer is 5,526.4.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna.
I think this is just a calculator.
Join me here. If you haven't finished calculating, join me here. Will you all do this?
So I could just screw it.
No, why would I do that? Yes.
Can I take a picture of the board?
Yeah, you're always more than welcome to. Alright, here we go. So, what you're going to do with your newest number, okay? You're going to take and find the square root of 5,526.4. You're going to divide it by 10 because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. Okay, and that is going to give you your standard deviation. So you're going to divide 5,526.4, divide that by 10, and then do the square root because that is the order of operation!
So wait, divide that.
Sorry, I was really excited. That was like a real memory flashback, okay? Ugh, you people.
Can you scoot it down a little?
You scoot it down a little bit.
Wait, so is the 10 divided by 10 under the radical, or is it?
Yes.
It's in it. So take 5,526.4 divided by 10, and then square it. It's order of operations.
I definitely would have.
Isn't it? Like, I'm not like, right?
No.
Isn't that PEMDAS? Isn't that all that crap? Alright, so what is it?
23.5.
Yes! So your standard deviation is 23.5. That is what we've been working on, ladies and gentlemen. That's the number we actually care about. Do you see how we got it? We had our raw data. We took all of it to find the average or the mean. Then we found the mean, and then we tried to find the deviation from the mean. So we took our raw data, subtracted 114, and came up with 45. We did it for the whole thing. Then we squared each of our deviations from the mean, came up with our squared deviation, added it up, divided by 10. We squared it. Yes, found the square root or whatever it is. And then we found our standard deviation. Isn't that wonderful? Now we're going to put it in a bell curve. Dreams do come true. Is that what you're thinking? Because I am. I love math. Yes.
Okay, so wait, what's the point of squaring it and...
I don't know, okay?
But
It's
you don't,
mythical.
like,
It's mythical.
technically
Just,
Oh.
I don't
You
know.
can't take squares.
All right, here we go. So, you are going to now draw a bell curve. This is where you're actually going to have to be able to do tomorrow. Does that make sense? Hello? So, take and draw a bell curve.
Okay, so.
It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. So, what number goes at the bottom of this line, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my God. What number from the thing we just found?
23.5.
114.6.
The average.
114.6 because that's the average. Okay?
Yes. Wow, this is the worst.
Why?
We're doing
What the hell do you people do?
You really? Yeah.
Okay. So, if we're doing one standard deviation above the mean, what is that number? What?
34%.
No, not 34%. What is one standard deviation above the mean? What does this line should have at the bottom of it? Think about it. Think about it. 138.1. Why is it that, Karina?
You add
Why do you add 23.5, Karina?
that's the standard deviation, and you're one standard deviation away.
What is one standard deviation below the mean, ladies and gentlemen? What is one standard deviation below the mean? Oh my God, look at it all coming together. Together. We're
91.1.
coming together. Yes, 91.1. What is 2 standard deviations below the mean? Oh my gosh, things are getting wild.
Is that 136?
Yes. Karina, are you a math girl? Really? I think that's cool. I wish I was a math person. I just
Is that 136.1 on the
138.1. All right. What is 3 standard deviations below the mean, John? 44.1. What is 2 standard deviations above the mean? Do you see how we're finding this, ladies and gentlemen? Yes? All right. So what is 2 standard deviations above the mean?
161.6.
There you go. And then 3 standard deviations is 185.1. Does anyone have any questions on how we got here? So, soon as we found the mean, if you're given the mean and the standard deviation, can you build this chart? Yes. No real math required. Can we agree you're just adding and subtracting? Tomorrow, you have a test question where they give you the mean and the standard deviation, and you have to figure it out. It's pretty numbers, though. Like the mean is like 20, and the standard deviation's 5. Does that make sense? They're pretty numbers. Makes it very easy. So, if I asked you, what is the range of data from 1 standard deviation below to 1 standard deviation above, what would the answer be? Who can raise your hand and tell me, what is the range of data from 1 standard deviation? What is the range of data? Sam?
Maybe 91.1 to 138.
Yes! Please tell me, 68% of all data falls between what range? Think about it. Who can raise their hand and tell me? 68% of all data falls within what range, Jenny?
1 standard deviation.
Okay, what's the range, though? When they ask for range, they mean numbers.
Oh, that would be.
What's the range from 1 standard deviation from the mean is what? Sam literally just said it. I asked just a different way.
91 or 1.1 to 138.1.
Yeah, wait.
Okay. 68%, write this down, people, because this isn't cutting through. 68% of all data,
Is that an 8?
yeah, judgy, okay, thank you. 68% of all data fall between 91.1 to 138.1. Does everyone understand how we got that number?
Yes.
1 standard deviation below, this is 1 standard deviation above. This is 34%, this is 34%. Okay? If we add both of those numbers up, that gives us 68%. Okay? If we, this is 14%, let's just build out our whole thing. Okay? So there are your percentages. So, what's 68 plus 28?
60 plus 28? No.
96.
96% of all data falls between what range? There you go. There you go. 161.6. So, if tomorrow you're faced with a question that asks you 68% of all data falls between what range, you're going to say 91 to 138. That's what it is. Yes, ma'am.
Isn't the range the actual difference? Like the first one, 47.
What are you talking about?
Like the definition of range is like the difference.
Oh, no. When we're talking about standard deviation, it varies a little bit. That's all they want. Yeah, for standard deviation, they have their own kind of language to a difference. Okay? So, if I said, this is another type of question you're going to see tomorrow. If I scored a raw score of 165, where am I? No. Where am I on my standard deviation?
2 standard
That's not the language we use. We are
2 standard deviations.
2 standard deviations above. This is 3 standard deviations. I like where your head's at, though. I had your back. So we're in the 3rd standard deviation above the mean. Okay? So, if I score a 165, I am 3 standard deviations above the mean. If I scored a 52, I am what? 3 standard deviations below. Okay? Does everyone understand how the language works of this?
2 ones.
What?
There's 2 of each.
Yeah, there's one below and one above. There you go. How are we feeling? We tired? You're worn out from math? Okay. Tomorrow on your test, they're going to give you the mean and the standard deviation. You'll have to sit, you flip over your Scantron to the back and you draw out your bell curve and you can sit there and figure it all out. If I was you, tonight what I would do is I would absolutely study your percentages. Yes? You need to know which ones go where. Keep in mind, we just drew them out. Keep in mind, we've already done this over here as well. Okay? Does anyone have any questions about standard deviation? The only thing you can really do to prepare for tomorrow is to memorize your percentages. That's the best thing you can do to prepare for tomorrow's test for standard deviation, and be familiar with the languages. 90% and 96% of all data falls between what ranges? That is, you add up the ranges on each side. Does that make sense? All right. What do you got, Riley?
Will you be posting a video?
I'm recording this, so you will be able to do it all over again if you wanted to. What do you got, Sam?
For 3 standard deviations, is it percent 2.5 or is it 3?
It varies depending on where you kind of come from. Either or will get you to the points you need to. Anything, it'll be very clear for you. Alyssa, did you have a question? That was your question? What do you got?
Is this going to be mostly on math tomorrow, or like?
There's 2 questions on standard deviation tomorrow.
So.
Yeah. Do not spend all day tonight studying this. It's 2%. I would make sure you're familiar with your percentages. Is that fair? So 34, 14, 2.5, 0.5. Okay? That's what you need. Take out your focus and your study guide. Let's go. We're not going to hang out. We're not hanging out. We're going to get work done so tonight you can go to bed early. Oh my God, this is overwhelming. All right, here we go. So yesterday, I'm going to fill in the bottom of your study guide. What? Oh, sorry. On the bottom of your study guide, it says the 6 ethical clauses. That's what I'm going to talk about right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's fill it in and be done with it. So tonight for homework, you got to fill in the rest of your focus in your study guide. I hope you saw that this week I really did try to get pretty much all of it done. Yes?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah,
All right.
focus is not.
Yeah, none of them.
Well, all the answers are on your study guide, though.
Not all of them.
There's
Some of
nothing I
them
can
require
do. There's
fixing.
nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. What the hell else can I possibly do? All right, here we go. So common ethical guidelines. So this is number 1 at the bottom of your box where it says ethical guidelines. This is also 6 on your focus if you wanted to, fill that in right now. It's completely up to you. So the first thing is rights and well-being of participants must be weighed against the value. What is more important, the health and safety or an experiment? Health and safety, absolutely. So we cannot endanger people in the name of science. Now, there's a very famous psychologist and experimenter who experimented on people during World War II for the love of science and not for the love of humanity. Does anyone know who he is?
Wait, is that the one where they do like the fake electric shock?
No, he's a Nazi.
Oh, Joseph Mengele.
Yes! What he did is he conducted crazy research on the Jews just to see what he could do. We don't want to do that. We don't do that in psychology. We always put the well-being of the individual. We cannot put people in harm for no reason. Participants must be allowed to make informed decisions about participation. You cannot be tricked into participating in an experiment. You have to be fully aware of what's happening. Now, is there deception in psychology? Yes. We don't have to tell you every single detail, but you can't just be living life and then someone says, hi, by the way, you've been in an experiment for the last 6 years. That doesn't work, yes.
People volunteer to do this, who does these experiments?
My husband participated in a 4-year one. Yeah, at USF, because you're poor in college.
They pay you?
Yeah, he got $75 every month. He would go in and spend 20 minutes. He used to toss a ball in his hand, and he used to have to do different things while doing it, and they were testing something, and he never knew. But every time he went in once a month, he would get $75. So he did it for 4 years. We'll have to, when we get to it, I'll explain what happened. So deception must be justified. You are allowed to not tell all the pieces of information, but if you're going to lie to them, it has to be justified. I can't just lie to you because I want to. It has to be fair. Okay? Your next one is participants may withdraw at any time. Now, have you heard of the Stanford Prison Experiment?
Yeah.
The Stanford Prison Experiment broke a lot of ethical laws. First of all, there was sodomy. You're not allowed to put things in other people. Okay? You're also not allowed to abuse psychologically and terrorize other people. But one of the biggest things that got Zimbardo in trouble is he wouldn't allow people to leave. He'd be like, no, it's really not that bad. Just stay. Just stay. And in fact, it was that bad, and he wouldn't let people leave, so he almost lost his license. Participants must be protected from risks or told explicitly of risks. Okay? A lot of, if there could be a threat of death, you have to tell them. You of course by now have heard of drug ads on TV, where they go into the list of could cause sneezing, could cause coughing, or death. And it feels like it jumps really quickly to death. They have to tell you of the risks. How's your focus going there, Champ? As you're lounging, maxing, and relaxing?
Just call me Jam.
No, I said, how is your study guide going? I used a term of endearment. I don't know. Champ.
Champ. Oh,
Champ.
I think
No, your name's Jude. All right, investigator must debrief participants, telling the true nature of the study. So, when my husband showed up for 4 years playing with a ball, tossing a ball in the air, what they were testing was hand-eye coordination over the growth of a male's most important years of maturity, which is from the ages of 18 to 23 or 4. I don't know, I can't do that right now. 22, perfect. So, with that being said, he was testing the maturity, and he got better because of God knows why. I don't really know. Goodbye. Tomorrow, your focus and your study guide are due. I hope you have a wonderful day.